Bismillah. Let's continue here with the interpretation of Surat Al-Kahf. And we are now on the 71st verse. And this is the story of Moses with Al-Khadir. And so Allah Ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فانطلقا. So on they went, Moses and Al-Khadir, حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها, until when they rode in the ship, Al-Khadir breached its hull by removing a plank or two with an axe. So فانطلقا. So on they went, and they went along the seashore, looking for a ship to ride, until they came across a ride. So they wanted to board a ship, and some of the people of the ship, they said, these are thieves. But the master of the ship, he said, no, I see prophethood. And it was said that some of them said, these are thieves. And then others, they said, no, we see light in their faces. So they let them ride for free. So they rode the ship. حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها, until when they rode in the ship, Al-Khadir breached its hull by removing a plank or two with an axe. قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها. Moses said, did you breach its hull so to drown its people? لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. I swear, you have done something awful. Meaning, that means the judgment of what you have done is something awful. So Moses is saying to him, so how did you do it? How are you able to do this thing that, Yani, because looks like you just damaged some people's property. You can't damage people's property. So how could you do that? قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He responded, did I not tell you that you will not be able to have patience with me? So what happened? So it was reported that when Musa saw what he did, he tried to patch the breach with his own clothing. And he said to him, did you breach its hull so that you drown its people? How could you do this? Because remember, what was the knowledge of Musa? Musa's knowledge was the knowledge of the outward deeds, the apparent deeds of the slaves, what's halal and what's haram and what's obligatory. So Moses will judge by what's apparent. But nothing is forbidden unless Allah makes it forbidden. Yani, it is valid for Allah Ta'ala to make something forbidden for one person and permissible for another person. That's valid. If God gives a command for something to be done, then it should be done. Doesn't matter what we think or what we think it should be or how we feel about it. That's irrelevant completely. Or if we understand it at all, is irrelevant completely. Yani, God's command for something does not depend on our comprehension of it. But as it was said, when Musa noticed that actually no water is coming inside, then he realized the strangeness of the matter. And Al-Khadir said to him, أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Did I not tell you that you will not be able to have patience with me? So then Musa apologized and he said, قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت. Do not hold against me that I have forgotten to refrain from objecting to you, that I have forgotten not to ask you before you offered to tell me. وَلَا تُرْهِقْنِي مِنْ أَمْرِي عُسْرًا وَلَا تُرْهِقْنِي مِنْ أَمْرِي عُسْرًا. And do not make my affair difficult by preventing me from following you. Please don't stop me from following you. فَانْطَلَقَا. So on they went. حَتَّى إِذَا لَقِيَا غُلَامًا فَقَتَلَهُ. Until when they encountered a prepubescent youngster. Then Al-Khadir killed him immediately after meeting him. قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس. So Moses said, explain yourself. Have you killed a soul without that having been for the killing of a soul? So the meaning of the sentence is here, حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا. Until when they encountered a prepubescent youngster and then Al-Khadr killed him, Moses said, that's how the meaning should go. As opposed to the previous verse. Previous verse says, حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها. Until when they rode in the ship, Al-Khadr breached its hull. He breached its hull. قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها. قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها. Moses said, did you breach its hull so to drown its people? Meaning, here, حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها. When they rode in the ship, Al-Khadr breached its hull. So, what happened when they rode the ship? خرقها. He breached its hull. Its hull. And then Moses قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها. Then Moses said, did you breach its hull so to drown its people? So that's from the 71st verse. But then in the 73rd verse, حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال. The meaning is different. Until when they encountered a youngster, then Al-Khadr killed him. So the previous verse says, حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها. Until when they rode in the ship, he breached it. This one is saying, حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله. There's a fat here. The other one doesn't have a fat. It doesn't say فخرقها حتى إذا ركب في السفينة. It doesn't say في السفينة فخرقها. So the meaning is, in that one, until when they rode in the ship. So now that they're in the ship, what happened? خرقها. He breached the hull. Then Moses said, and this one means حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال. Until when they encountered a boy, then he killed him. So what was the result? Then Moses said, قال أقتلت نفسا. Have you killed someone? So basically, the meaning that I'm trying to convey to you is that the verse about the ship, it means when they rode the ship, what happened was that he breached its hull. The second verse is saying, when they encountered the boy and Al-Khadir killed him, then what happened was Moses said, so where that what happened was this part that I'm putting in the translation. Then what happened was doesn't fall in the same spot, although the verses look close to each other. So if you can follow in the Arabic there, maybe you can see what I'm trying to say. And if you can't, then maybe it's not very clear what I'm trying to say to you. حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية. So they went until when they encountered a youngster and Al-Khadr killed him. So what happened then was that Moses said, have you killed someone? So it doesn't mean until when they encountered a youngster. Then what happened was Al-Khadr killed him. Doesn't mean like that. قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس. So Moses said, explain yourself. Have you killed a soul without that having been for the killing of a soul? So that's why here in the English, this is all grouped together. Until when they encountered a prepubescent youngster, then Al-Khadr killed him. So Moses said, so then what happened was that Moses said, so it's like here, it says, when is a condition. So when such and such happened, then, so here's when this is a condition. So where's the then? The then is really here. Then Moses said, so until when they encountered a youngster, it says then here, but it's not the same then. Because Al-Khadr killed him immediately. That's why then is here. But this then doesn't go to this when here. Say when such and such, then it's here, the so. Until when they encountered a youngster and Al-Khadr killed him immediately. So then what happened was that Moses said, explain yourself. Have you killed someone? In the previous ayah, it's saying, until when they rode in the ship. So when there's a condition. So what happened when such and such then? So the then is here. Al-Khadr breached its hull. So when they rode in the ship, then Al-Khadr breached its hull. Moses said, so it's separated here. And the one down there, it's not separated. If this were like that one, it would be saying, the meaning would be that is, until when they rode in the ship and Al-Khadr breached its hull, then what happened was that Moses said, so this one doesn't mean that way, even though the words are so close. And what made the difference here is the introduction of this letter fa. This fa shifted the dynamic of the sentences. So I tried my best there to make that clear for you. If you have a question, feel free. لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. Moses said, I swear, the judgment of what you have done is that it is something forbidden. Nukra, munkar, haram. You have done something haram. That means that's the judgment of it. According to all the apparent rules, the known rules, you just killed someone who didn't kill anybody. How? That's the end of Juzah 15. Now Juzah 16 continues with Surat Kahf. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. Al-Khadr responded, did I not say to you that you will not be able to be patient with me? So this question here is slightly different from the previous question. Because here he says, Alam aqul laka. Did I not say to you? إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. You indeed shall not be able to be patient with me. And what did he say in the previous ayah to him? He said, so first, before they went on the journey, Al-Khadir warned him. He told him, إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Indeed, you will not be able to have patience with me. But Musa alayhi salam, he continued to stand up for himself so that he can achieve his goal. So Al-Khadir accepted. So they went on, and Al-Khadir told him, don't ask me until I'm ready to tell you. But then Musa asked him about something, which was his breaching the hull of the ship. So here in the 72nd verse, Al-Khadir said to him, Alam aqul, did I not say, Innaka lan tastati'a ma'iya sabira. Indeed, you will not be able to be patient with me. Indeed, you will not be. Did I not say you will not be able to be patient with me? So then what did he say? He said here in the 75th verse, Alam aqul laka. Did I not say to you? Didn't I tell you? Alam aqul laka, did I not say to you? Innaka lan tastati'a ma'iya sabira. You will not be able to be patient with me. So he added that, laka, didn't I say to you? Because now there's no excuse for him. That was the second time. قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني. Moses said, if I ask you about anything else after this, if I ask you about anything else after this time, then do not keep me in your company. Depart me. قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. You have reached concerning me an excuse to depart me. فانطلقا. So on they went. حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها. حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها. Until when they came to the people of a Turkish town, Antakya, and they sought food and lodging from its people. فَأَبَوْا أَن يُضَيِّفُوهُمَا. But they refused to host or feed them, because the people of that town were mean. فَوَجَدَا فِيهَا جِدَارًا يُرِيدُ أَن يَنقَضَّ فَأَقَامَهُ. There they found a wall 100 cubits high on the verge of collapsing. And Al-Khadir pushed it back up with his bare hands as a miracle. If he's a Nabi, that's a miracle. If he's a Wali, that's a karama. When we say he's a Nabi, he's a prophet. So that's a miracle. قَالَ لَوْ شِئْتَ لَاتَّخَذْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا. Moses said, had you wanted, you could have taken a salary for that, for our needs, since they did not host us. قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك. Said Al-Khadir, this third question is the reason for departure between us. هذا, this one. This is the departure between us. And it was reported that Moses didn't let him go just like that when he told him, this is where we shall depart. So Moses took hold of his clothing and he told him, not before you explain to me all that you have done. So then Al-Khadir said to him, سَأُنَبِّئُكَ بِتَأْوِيلِ مَا لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ عَلَيْهِ صَبْرًا. I shall now inform you about the explanation of that with which you are unable to have patience. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر. As for the ship, It belonged to 10 poor men who made their living at sea. They were all brothers. And each one of them had a different handicap. فَأَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَعِيبَهَا, and I wanted to damage this ship. He's saying, he's attributing the act to himself. He's saying, "Aratu, I wanted," because it seems as though he ruined something. It seems as though he ruined something. So, because from the outside looks like he ruined something, he attributed it to himself. So he said, فَأَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَعِيبَهَا. Although, as is going to be mentioned, all of what he did was by the command of Allah. So if everything he did was by God's command, then why he attributed this to himself here? As you know, he's going to say, وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. I didn't do it out of myself. So if he didn't do it out of himself, why he said here, فَأَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَعِيبَهَا. I wanted to damage it. It means I did something that looks like from the outside. I did something that looks like from the outside that it is ruining something. And it was reported that Al-Khadr replaced those planks by a miracle. So because it looked from the outside like damage and ruin, he attributed it to himself. And then he said, وَكَانَ وَرَاءَهُم مَلِكٌ يَأْخُذُ كُلَّ سَفِينَةٍ غَصْبًا. They did not know that beyond them was an unjust, disbelieving king who commandeers every suitable ship forcefully. Yani he takes any ship that he encounters that's in good condition, he commandeers it. They didn't know that he was bound for them. But Allah revealed it to me. And so I did damage their ship for their welfare, for something they didn't even know. So that unjust tyrant would see their ship damaged and leave it alone. So that's why I did it. Then he continued, وَأَمَّا الْغُلَامُ فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. And concerning the youngster, because this youngster, he killed him. It was said that Al-Khadr smashed his head up against the wall and killed him. And it was said that he laid him down and slit his throat. So now he wants to explain to Musa. As for the youngster, the one that I slew, فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. His parents were believers. فَخَشِينَا أَن يُرْهِقَهُمَا طُغْيَانًا وَكُفْرًا. And we feared that he would misguide them into transgression and blasphemy. Meaning Allah revealed to him that this would be his case. That if he lives, he will misguide his own parents. فَأَرَدْنَا أَن يُبْدِلَهُمَا رَبُّهُمَا خَيْرًا مِنْهُ زَكَاةً وَأَقْرَبَ رُحْمًا. So we wanted for their Lord to replace their child for them with someone better than him in purity from sins and more merciful to his parents. So why he said, Aradina, we wanted. First time he said, Aradtu, I wanted, because it looks like he ruined something, although he did something good. Why he said here, Aradina, we wanted, because also it looks like he ruined something, so for the same reason, but there was a great mercy in this And so he attributed it also to Allah. That's why he said we. Yani, from his own perspective, he did something. And from a perspective, Allah did something. وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة. And concerning the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the town. وكان تحته كنز لهما. And beneath it is a treasure of gold and silver for them. وكان أبوهما صالحا. And their father was pious. So they and their monies were protected by his piety, by the blessing of his piety. They and their monies were protected. Yani, because that wall was on the verge of collapsing. Had that wall collapsed, then their treasure would have been exposed, and then the people would have taken their treasure unjustly. فَأَرَادَ رَبُّكَ أَن يَبْلُغَا أَشُدَّهُمَا. And as a mercy from your Lord willed for them to reach their primes. وَيَسْتَخْرِجَا كَنزَهُمَا. And then to extract their treasure. رَحْمَةً مِّن رَّبِّكَ. It's already there. This part. رَحْمَةً مِّن رَّبِّكَ. As a mercy from your Lord. That's at the end of the ayah here, or the end of this sentence. But in the translation, it appears in the beginning. So if we follow the word order, we come down like this. So it would read, and your Lord willed for them to reach their primes and then to extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. So that follows the word order. If we put it back the way we had it, and as a mercy from your Lord willed for them to reach their primes and then to extract their treasures. I just find it smoother sentence this way, although it's not really following the wording of the Arabic, the sequence of the wording of the Arabic. And your Lord is Yani Rabbuk. Your Lord is mentioned twice here. So it came out in the translation twice too. فَأَرَادَ رَبُّكَ. Your Lord willed. And then رَحْمَةً مِّن رَّبِّكَ. As mercy from your Lord. Rabbuk, Rabbik. So, and as, we can take A out here. As mercy from your Lord willed for them to reach their primes and then to extract their treasure. Or, and your Lord willed for them to reach their primes and then to extract their treasure, as mercy from your Lord. Yani, it works. I don't think it's too big of a deal. Maybe it's better this way. وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. And I have not done any of this on my own accord. Rather, my Lord commanded me. He revealed it to me, and then I carried out the revelations. So it was not haram for him to do anything he did. Because nothing is haram unless Allah Ta'ala makes it haram. And what Allah Ta'ala makes haram, yani, Allah revealed to Musa laws, for example, that you can't kill someone, you can't damage someone's property, for example. But Al-Khadir, being a prophet who receives revelation from Allah, that is itself enough to exempt him and give him license to do something else because he got revelation. ذَلِكَ تَأْوِيلُ مَا لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ عَلَيْهِ صَبْرًا. That is the explanation of what you are unable to endure, what you are unable to be patient with, O Musa. And Al-Khadir departed him. And it was reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, had Moses been patient, then he would have continued to accompany Al-Khadir, and we would have gotten more benefits. Yani more would have been revealed to Prophet Muhammad about what happened with Musa and Al-Khadir. But the meeting got cut short here, and so there wasn't more to be revealed to Prophet Muhammad about that, alayhi salatu wassalam. And notice in that hadith, what did the Prophet say, alayhi salatu wassalam? He said, had Musa been patient, then we would have gotten more benefits from the story, because more things would have happened. That's called qadar mu'allaq, pending destiny. Pending destiny is when you say, yani, when it is said, if you didn't do this, then this is what would have happened. Yani, had Allah said, or the Prophet said, had it not been this way, then it would have been this way. So that's called qadar mu'allaq, pending destiny. Like when Allah says, وَلَوْ رُدُّوا لَعَادُوا لِمَا نُهُوا عَنْهُ. Had they been returned to the earth after Judgment Day, meaning had they been spared from the torture of hell and returned to earth instead of being tortured in hell after Judgment Day, then the inclinations that they had in the earth would have come back to them. And then they would have done again what they were forbidden from doing the first time. Will that happen though? It's not going to happen. So this is qadar mu'allaq. It means Allah informs us, if this were to happen, then this is what would happen. But that's not going to happen because something else happened. And the Prophet said here, alayhi salatu wasalam, had Musa been patient, then he would have continued to accompany Al-Khadir, and then we would have more benefits. We in the nation of Muhammad, Allah would have revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam that story with more details. But it didn't happen, so it wasn't revealed. Nothing more was revealed to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam. And even this story of Al-Khadir, it contains proof for Al-Qadar Al-Mu'allaq, the pending destiny. Because Al-Khadir told Musa, had I not damaged the ship, then it would have been unjustly commandeered. But I did damage the ship, and so it wasn't. And had I not killed that boy, he would have misguided his parents. But I did slay that boy, so he did not. And had I not pushed up the wall, then their treasure would have been exposed. But I did push it up, so their treasure wasn't exposed. So that's the qadar mu'allaq. There's qadar mubram. Qadar mubram, that's inevitable destiny. This is inescapable destiny. And there's qadar mu'allaq, pending destiny. And there's more than that in different religious proofs. Like in the story of Hajar, when she was in the desert, and then the angel rescued her and her baby when he kicked the ground and the Zamzam water sprang up, and then she worked on it so that it settled like a pool. Prophet Ahmad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, had she not worked on that and made it like a pool, then it would have just flown over the ground or flowed over the ground like a river or a stream. So had she not worked on it so that it settles as a pool, it would have flowed as a stream. So she did, though, work on it so that it settles as a pool, and therefore it did not flow as a stream. That's qadar mu'allaq. Sadaqallahu al-azim. We'll stop there. Any question?
Right?
Yes?
Would you repeat? What did you say? The one which is going to be inevitable, that's going to be happen.
That's called qadar mubram. M-U-B-R-A-M. Mubram.
Nadi, barakallahu fikum.
Ameen wa fikum. Mubram. Qadar mubram. That's the inevitable destiny, definitive destiny. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.